Tempers boil over in East Texas tonight as Congressman Nathaniel Moran hosted an in-person town hall. Good evening, I'm Brennan Gurley. In an explosive response, Ryan Nichols, the Longview man convicted then pardoned for taking part in the January 6th riot, speaking out at tonight's meeting. Check it out.
Degree in Russia, and having spent time in Russia, you shared in a C-SPAN interview.
Nichols was set to challenge incumbent Nathaniel Moran in next year's Republican primaries, and he had a lot to say tonight. CBS 19's Robert De La Garza was inside the room as the constituents on both sides of the aisle fought for their voices to be heard.
Tuesday night's town hall meeting turned tense as tempers flared and voices clashed. Over 100 people packed the room, eager to question Congressman Nathaniel Moran, though some say they left with more questions than answers.
I would love to sit down with Congressman Moran and say, hey, here are some concerns I have as your constituent. I'm not being afforded that opportunity.
Instead of an open Q&A, pre-submitted questions were read aloud, leaving some feeling unheard. Like Kristen Hardin-Sigler said.
What you saw in the room was really not a reflection of most of the voices in East Texas. What you saw in the room was just angry voices.
Grassroots America hosted what they dubbed an uncensored town hall with Congressman Moran.
An uncensored town hall would mean that it's open to all constituents. We'll see. That's why we're here. We'll see. We want our voices heard.
Issues like Social Security, due process, Trump's tariffs, and women's and human rights drew attention from both sides of the aisle. And grassroots voices like Marianne Aiken were eager to weigh in.
There's a lot of issues, the economy, how are the tariffs doing? And we hear they're doing very well. So we just want to hear that from our representative.
Aiken expressed excitement ahead of the meeting to be able to hear from Congressman Moran firsthand. But constituents like protest organizer Nancy Nichols stood outside before the meeting, while others stood in protest during the meeting, unhappy.
We want to be heard. We want the country to know that what Representative Moran is pushing in Congress is not what the people want.
Some left Tuesday's meeting in disagreement of some of Moran's comments, while others were escorted out for their profanity.
You didn't care about my due process rights. I was pardoned because I did receive due process, and you're still not answering these questions.
At the end of Moran's meeting, there was a mix of emotions, some boos, some applause, and the congressman says he was satisfied with the meeting despite the heated interactions.
I think this is a responsibility that members of Congress have, is to be transparent and accountable for their decisions and for their actions. And the best way we can do that is face-to-face discussions.
In Tyler, Robert De La Garza, CBS 19.
Now to our